You need room now. Go ahead. Thanks, man. You already gave me a thumbs up.
I did.
Is that you? You did that?
Mm-hmm.
I was going to do that too.
So behind you, I put this information on the board. If you move this way a little bit, you'll see it. The other way. There we go.
Yeah, somebody's going to say, I can't read it, I can't see it.
Too bad.
Mine got stuck on 122. How's that possible? Oh, I see now. Thank you. I want to bring in Delta. I want to bring in Delta. Today? This?
Yeah, every time that we do, we should.
All right. Make it so. No, we have it. 318. As soon as we get to 5. In fact, we may just start now. Eminem, are you with me?
There are no lifeguards on duty.
Is that what that is?
Yeah. So you're in.
He said call 911.
There's no life.
When I was a little kid, we lived in Germany. There was this voice that we would always hear on American Armed Forces radio. And that voice reminded me of him. He had that echoey sound in the background wherever he was at. And he would talk to the Americans in foreign lands just to reassure them. The police here in Hawaii are going up and down all the streets telling everybody, stay home. Let's see, where are we at, Jan? 4:59, that's good enough. What's today's date?
27.
27th, copy. Do we have him? Do we have a goal? Thank you. Three, 2, 1, go. Greetings, family! Welcome to another one of your Frank 26 Yubi Tubies. It is the 27th?
Yes.
Is it really? I thought it was 28th. 27th of March 2000 and, I don't know, you pick a year. It's good to be with you. I greet you in agape love. We're here to study the Iraqi dinar and a few other tangible things. Not a lot. And I've also asked our brother Delta to join us tonight. And the reason why is because Delta is doing a wonderful job with his assignment, being the CBI. And he's been bringing you very good information. I know you're reading it, and I know you're watching, and I know you're studying, but I also know that there's one or two that simply say, I don't understand. I want Delta to come in tonight and talk with me about the advancements from the CBI concerning the monetary reform of the Iraqi dinar. I'm sure, again, you see them, but in case you don't see them, I'd like to highlight them. I'd like to amplify the success of the CBI and where they're at. And I know that the coronavirus is a very serious issue. The coronavirus is very political, and that's sad. Whereas we should all be gathered together and helping each other with this issue. The coronavirus, very simply, is a political issue, and that's all there is to it. Happy anniversary. How about that? Yeah, we had AIDS. We've had the swine flu. We've had SARS. We've got Corona. We've got all these things. And ladies and gentlemen, I think it's important that we realize that we've been attacked. In my opinion, I believe that this was bioengineered as the weeks have gone by to understand this a little bit better. And in my opinion, yeah, this bioengineered virus was launched for a reason, for a purpose. But I'm not here. Boy, it's nothing but happy anniversaries, huh? I won't waste your time, by the way. I think you need to listen. But anyways, look, okay, I promise I won't say another word. Y'all talk. Let me do what I wanted to. Normally we don't have a UB2B on Fridays, do we? Thank you, Premium, for allowing me to come out. We were attacked as a planet. And then we were attacked as a nation. For there is no other nation like the United States of America on this planet. If aliens came from another world, don't you think they would study us very well? What government do you think they would talk to? The aliens of an unseen world, this virus, has attacked us. And I don't care. I mean, I do care, but I'm not here anymore to talk to you about who did it and why they did it. You know it. The communist socialist parties of this planet Earth do not want human success. They want state success. And if you don't know what that means and you accept it, well, then you swallow that pill. Because I won't. Nor will my children and my children's children, my family. No. We're being attacked. But, like the president says, we're on the winning side. We're on the winning side. We will win this attack. We will win this war. We will overcome this enemy with the help of God and 243. $243 is the number of years that the United States of America has existed. The Roman Empire thought that it would never, ever implode. It did. And it was because of its own selfish greed. They wanted a lot more than they had. They wanted to be like the Egyptians. You see, the Egyptian pharaohs, they were gods. Rome, I'm just a Caesar. They wanted to be gods too. And that became the destruction of their Roman Empire. 243 years the United States of America has invested in humanity around the world. And we're certainly not about to stop now. The media I can blame. I can sit here and talk to you about all kinds of things. But what I see hour after hour after hour when I watch television in the sense of the media, it's hour after hour after hour of blaming Well, it was Trump. But basically blaming everyone except the Democrats. The Democrats are pristine and clean and perfect. Their farts smell so beautiful. There is no wrong in the eyes of the media towards the Democrats, socialists, communists of the United States of America. And if they could spend, the amount of money they make in destroying the goodness of what we have right now. You know those commercials? Hey, CNN, you're so humble. You're so, oh yeah, we got to do the right thing, right? I tell you, here's what you do. Why don't you take the next 4 weeks, because, that's when it'll apex. Why don't you take the next 4 weeks and take all the money that you're making out of all the lies that you're spewing on those commercials and donate them for the research of the coronavirus, or to buy equipment, ventilators, or to help Cuomo, Bozo Cuomo, whatever, that guy, all the governors that are complaining, right? You see, this is a federal thing. It's not a local thing. Oh, is it? No, wait a minute, it's the opposite. It's a local and state thing, isn't it? It's not a federal thing, and yet you blame the federal. You blame President Trump. Oh, we weren't prepared. What about the president before him? Well, yeah, he wasn't, but he was one of your guys. Yeah. Well, we weren't prepared with that president. About the president before him. He was one of your guys. Oh, yeah. Well, I guess we didn't prepare our country very well, but we got to blame somebody, and let's blame Donald Trump, because he's the president right now. Well, you know what? We're not going to get anywhere. You want to buy ventilators? Give me your money you're making off those filthy lie commercials, media. Well, you're so pristine and you're so perfect and you're so nice, huh? Oh, you're quick to blame. You're quick to blame. What's this? My fingerprint? No, that's your finger pointing right at me and, of course, the President of the United States. Somebody posted on our forum, no, I don't want to talk right now because this is so, I don't want Frank to talk to me. No. I mean, I want him to tell me something, but don't talk to me about politics. Don't talk to me about, hey, are you serious? Then go away. Because you don't have the mental capacity to understand that this whole thing is 100% political. If it wasn't, we would have had this thing well taken care of by now. Years ago, centuries ago, well, decades ago, we could have prepared ourselves for this. But where was the money? Hell no. Yeah, but what we learned from the swine flu and AIDS and SARS, So, don't you understand? There's a lot of people on this planet Earth. We've got to reduce the population. Don't you know the goal of communists? No. Well, you better. Or you'll be one. Or you'll be consumed by one. And the media of the United States of America is exactly that. Nothing but communist. Blaming. It's so cool because what they do, as soon as Trump talks, as soon as he was on today, and as soon as he opens his mouth, it doesn't matter what it is. Here's some pictures of him. Watch this. Let me blow it up. Let me see. It says, Trump incorrectly says that the United States has tested more than anyone per capita. Korea has done 5 times more. Italy, 4 times more. What's the matter with this stupid man? He is so incorrect in every word he is saying. It's per persona, not per capita. Stupid. Isn't it fascinating? I think it is. That the media can get away with lying and say that it's not a lie. But yet the president says something and they change his words. Hey, President Trump, what's it like to be Frank 26? So we go to the next one. And right away, what's it say here? Trump says that he'll decide on social distancing guidelines on Monday. And they tear him apart about it. Hey, Mr. President, I thought you said that, we was going to be okay by Easter. You knucklehead, that's not going to happen, huh? What, now you have other guidelines for us? Listen, stupid. This is an unknown virus. factors change constantly. Work with me. Don't do these kind of things. And then embarrass the president of the United States of America. And this is the media of the president of the United States of America, right? Well, it's not hard to see what's going on. You're talking about social communist. And it doesn't matter what he... Okay, let's go to the next one here. Let's see what we got here. Let's see here. New York Governor Cuckoo says Trump is completely incorrect, and he's grossly uninformed about ventilators in storage. Well, they come to find out that, you see, the media right away, it doesn't matter what he says. And the way they talk about it, he is completely incorrect and grossly uninformed. Look, that's why it's all political. And I'm so sick of it. And by the way, no. Hey, Cuckoo, what's your name? Governor Cuckoo from New York? Yeah, Cuckoo? Dude, they found him. You're going to double talk now? You're going to back out of this? Cuckoo, you don't like the President of the United States of America. You don't like the Republicans, right? Hide the ventilators that they badly need to save human lives. Oh, no. He's grossly wrong. It wasn't tens and tens and tens. Look, it wasn't how many. It was the fact that you did it. Oh, I had no idea those ventilators were in that basement. And this is your city, isn't it? Oh, I'd love to talk to you face to face, Cuckoo. You a cuckoo head. You're a knucklehead. You're sick puppies. All of you that are accusing. We need to work together. The last time we were together, I said, look, I'm seeing that the United States is coming together. It is. It is. Powerfully. Except for the Democrat communist. They're that bad relative that nobody wants to invite to the family reunion. But they they come anyways. Good God, there was a beautiful, beautiful signing ceremony of the stimulus package. Did you see that? Did you see any Democrat? Not a soul. Not one Democrat. And then the media says, hey, Mr. President, how come you didn't invite them? You had a chance here to bring us all together and show that we are bipartisan. Hey, up yours with your bipartisan crap. You knew damn well none of you were coming. And then you, the media, what do? You make it look like this, Trump. He didn't want nothing. Oh, no, you guys aren't invited. It was a bipartisan agreement, stupid. You always take the picture together. You poor babies. You didn't want to come to the party, huh? You don't want to take the picture with Donald Trump? No, you mad at him, right? Because you know the 2 million, or was it 2 trillion? You know very well, don't you? This whole call is in my opinion, isn't it? What's your opinion, communist? And I'm sick and tired of hearing it. CNN, Wolf Blitzer. Wolf. 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 You sick puppy. Your questions are for to be flushed, because that's where they come from. All of this media, and then they come up. I'm so confused, Mr. President. You said that Easter we were going to go ahead and open things back up. We're just nobody knows what's going on, Mr. President. They actually said that we need leadership, Mr. President. Up yours. All of you are taking this to the point where you're trying in any way, shape, or form to destroy the president. And meanwhile, our naval ships are coming in. Mercy, Comfort, all pulling in more beds. Hey, governors, y'all need more hospital. How about units attached to the hospital? Got it. Anybody need more extensions to them? You got it. Beds, extra rooms, you got it. Testing kits, you got it. Everything that is needed, they're getting it. And it's crazy because it should be a state and city thing. Go ahead, Jen. Go ahead. It should be a state and city thing. Thanks, Ben. But it's the state and city was not prepared. Why? Because of the leadership in our governments before that. They didn't care about citizens. And now they're blaming the government, that we have now, Trump and the Republicans. You guys, you weren't prepared. Then Trump says to them, "Hey, you need to appreciate. Did you hear what the president said to the New York governor? What that he should appreciate that he's helping him. You know what? You're right, because it's your job to take care of your state. When the federal wants to interfere with you state, what do you say? Mind your own damn business. How come you ain't saying it now?" Brian says, "Well, I thought Delta was coming on. What am I wasting my time here for? I don't know. Why don't you leave?" I'm a little testy right now. Yes, sir. I've been given full throttle. You see, it's a political issue, the SARS. And the SARS is affecting the Iraqi dinar investment? Nah. No. As much as they want to make it a political issue, if I feel like, sharing things with you, I invited Delta Brian. Yeah, can you believe it, Brian? Frank is talking. Oh my gosh, unbelievable. Yeah, Brian, believe it or not, Delta's coming and he's going to tell you some powerful things. You know why? Because most people don't want to read them on our forum. How many of you are members of KTFalways.com? Oh, well, Frank, I love coming to your UB2B and I love reading you at stupid.com. Thanks for your loyalty. Lots of test kits, lots of stuff that's being done. And then they say that we are unprepared with leadership in the United States of America. Yeah, whatever. Hey, by the way, did you see the article about the currency swap? Wasn't that great? Did you see what it said? Wasn't that great? Oh, wait a minute. I talked to you about a currency swap with the Iraqi dinar and all the banks around the world, huh? And I said, what? How stupid is that? Why don't you give me $5 and I'll give you 1 penny? No, that's not fair. Well, that's what they just did. Oh, then something isn't fair or something's happening. Yeah, and then you read about it. Ta-da. In fact, I'm at that testy point right now where any Democrat, don't even try. We're wasting so much time. And it is because of the Democrats. Give you an example. This stimulus package was passed. Then all of a sudden, a turncoat within the GOP comes out and he says, "Hey, what? I think that maybe I want to, make a change." What's your name? Massey. Congressman Massey. What? I think that we need to do the whole thing all over again and start over at square one. Dude, why? And then the why was stupider than stupid. It was political. What's that got to do with saving the people of the United States of America? Nothing. Then why are you doing this? In fact, John Kerry, who I don't care for, cracked me up. He said, well, how did he put it? That he was the biggest a-hole or something. How did he put it, John Kerry? I forget what he said, but yeah. And then on top of that, Trump comes out and says, this guy's just grandstanding. Well, kick him out of the GOP. And they will. It's amazing. It's all political. Even within the Republicans, you get one jerk. One jerk. Well, he ain't going to be there anymore, is he? Watch him disappear. From the Republican Party. You know where you belong. Go on over there with the Democrats. So then the president comes out and he says, I'm going to introduce the Defense Defense Production Act. And what do? Again, it's political. Oh, he should have done this a long time ago. Oh, he should have done it. You know something? He did do this a long time ago. Oh, no. At the very beginning, when this happened with China, he should have been right away. He should have done something. You know what? President Trump was the only human being on this planet that said, China, we're closing our borders to you. Then everybody else started to do it. Stupid countries like Italy decided to finally do it. South America haven't even done it. So this Defense Production Act, he goes to the General Motors and he tells them, guys, we need ventilators. The first thing that the political scene says is that, well, that'll take at least 4 weeks before we even see those ventilators. Most people will be dead. Well, then, would you rather we did not make the ventilators? Well, if we did not make the ventilators, then we need to blame the president for not being prepared and coming out with a defense protection. So we can't win no matter what, right? Against you communists, right? That's about right. All righty. So now that that's all been established and the stimulus package came out and pissed you guys off, and you try to stop it again, hey, Nancy, I got to pee. You sent that guy? Really? You don't think that Trump knows that we've got a turncoat within our own? This guy is marred. This guy is busted. This guy's political career, kaput. It's done. Yeah, there's no time. There's just no time to mess with that. You see, there's an apex coming. In fact, how many times have you heard me say that word? A lot. Did you hear that word today? A lot. On the news. Thank you. Yeah, you see, we're looking at an apex in about 3 weeks. And that's based on the pattern of what they've seen from Italy and China. But yet China was on a massive scale, so it's a little harder. It may be even larger for us. Be fair. How many people did China have? So then they shut down that whole area. What was the population of that compared to the population of the United States? Anyways, this virus, we shall win. We are being attacked, but we will win the war. We are winning the war, and we will overcome this enemy with the help of God and be victorious. And what the president is doing is the best that he can with what he has. We will apex. It will come down. Things will get back to normal. Maybe around Easter. Who knows? It's possible that it'll probably be a little bit more after Easter. But that concept of bringing back some things as things slowly improve is a good thing. It's a good thing. Yeah. For our economy. And then when we see that they're just against everything that Trump is doing, well, I can't blame him for saying, do not be so unappreciative. Appreciate what we have accomplished, what we are doing. Work with us. And when they come out and say that this act that was just recently, the Defense Production Act, well, it's too late, Mr. President. No, it's not. You have no freaking idea, do you? You see, this Defense Production Act not only is going to tell, let's say, for example, the one they're using, GM. Hey, GM, yeah, we need for you to make ventilators. Can do. GM, when you make the ventilators, give them to the United States of America. How much are we going to get paid for it? Nothing. Okay. Then, these ventilators are put all over the place. What I find interesting is that the governors of the 50 states supposedly put this pressure on Donald Trump to give these ventilators out. And yet you have some that are hiding the ventilators to make him look even worse. I don't know. And the only reason why we are going to get the ventilators now is because the governors put Donald Trump under this pressure. It was weeks ago that Donald Trump said, I'm going to bring out this Defense Act and have manufacturers produce the things that we need. What, we forgot? All right. I couldn't believe it. I was watching that New York guy, Cuomo. Hold on, brother. Let me round this up, okay?
Okay, buddy.
So I was watching Cuomo from New York, and this guy, he was saying, we're going to peak. We're going to reach an apex. And I looked over at the television, and I said, you're using my words. Who told you we're going to have an apex? And then he says, but we need these ventilators, okay, as quickly as possible. And I need 40 to 50,000. Ladies and gentlemen, I told you many times I was in the medical field, right? Respiratory therapist, right? I ran ventilators left and right in ICU, okay? This guy says that, Cuomo says that what we need is a change in the weather. If we can have a change in the weather, Yep, that'll kill the virus, and we won't have to have a need for these ventilators. That's stupid. You know what's more stupid? When I was in the hospitals, when I worked in the hospitals, my children work in hospitals. My daughter-in-law, she's a physical therapist. You know how many ventilators there are per unit? At the Toledo Hospital where I was at back in the 70s, I think there might have been 4, 2 on the top floor and 2 on the bottom, the top being the ICU. I mean, if you have like maybe 6, you're lucky. That's a full ward right there. And these mayors, what are they saying? Or these governors, they're saying, we need 40, 50,000 of them. What? What? You can't even exaggerate property. Where are you going to put 40, 50,000? You can't even put them anywhere. What are you talking about? Would you please work with me and stop the lies? And stop making this so doggone political? Frank, you are wasting lots of people's time, says Mark. Mark Lies? That's his name? His name is Lies? Anyways, Mark, bye-bye. You'll never be with us ever again. Bye-bye. Have a good day. Because the one that's lying is you fool. Yeah, believe it or not, I have a lot more. Remember I said to you, well, what do you expect from China, where it came from? It was a do you know the province? Do you know the area where what happened? And with all the animals, the bats, and how it's disgusting. It stinks. And then it turns out that Los Angeles, hey, Nancy, I got to pee. They're talking about your home base. And New York. The two most unbelievably not very clean places in the United States of America. And you didn't expect this from the two, you know. But you forgot about Sodom and Gomorrah. Yeah, there's a lot that we can talk about, family. In fact, the people in New York, they're moving to Florida. Yeah. Because they know that there's research with, what is it, hydroxyfluorocarbon? Don't talk about it, Roger. Yeah, there's help down there for people. Florida, I guess, was a little bit smarter than everyone else. No, they're just doing more research, and they're working with the Food and Drug Administration a lot more. Well, anyways, oh, did you see that in I know Delta in about 2 more minutes? Did you see that there was a woman 101 years old, and the man the man was 101, and the woman was 102 years old. Did you see that they got coronavirus from Italy? They both recovered yesterday. So China shutting down, and then 6 weeks later, did you know that they're back open? They're open again. Interesting. Yeah, let's do this right. Let's do this right, and let's do this only once. With the whole United States of America, even you communists of the United States of America, pulling together. We need to pull together. We can't have little Chinas in the United States of America. We can't have little Chinas. You got that, New York? You got that, LA? Detroit, help is coming. Why do you think that the GM was picked? We know what to do, ladies and gentlemen. We just got to do it. And stop fighting with each other. Because believe it or not, the monetary reform of the Iraqi dinar is moving very, very beautifully. Very beautifully. In fact, I have decided, I called our brother Delta to come in and talk to us. Oh, I can talk to you about it. I wanted to talk to you about it. Eminem, you did a wonderful report. Eminem, you did a wonderful report. You should read his report, family. I think it was post 44. But for right now, let's take a little time out of my heart being broken by the media and not working with the President of the United States of America to get this thing over and done with. We know how to deal with it. But we have never dealt with it this way before. No president before this president has ever shut down the whole world. No president. Now, believe it or not, Delta is about to tell you some wonderful things. And then when Delta is done, I may tell you some wonderful things. But the time has to be right, doesn't it? But for now, let me get connected with our, let's see here, our speaker. Where's our speaker? Right there. I got one speaker here. And Delta, you there, buddy? Oh, I can't hear you. That's how I'm doing. Hold on, brother. Hold on. Push that button. And okay, try it one more time. Testing. 1, 2, 3. The floor is yours. Go for it.
1, 2, 3. Pull the trigger. 1, 2, 3. Allah, come on.
Hey, are you guys in the mood to print any currency? Because you don't got no money. And if you do print some currency, I know what you're printing, in my opinion. Talk to me, Delta. What's going on?
No, brother. Actually, it's a lot of good stuff is going on here. Believe it or not. Greeting family, greeting everybody. I mean, we're hearing right now what's going on, and we know coronavirus, the oil prices, really affected the whole global, which is we know that. But for us as investors and investment in Iraqi dinar, we used to pray to see this kind of situation. It's unfortunate to say about that, but this is a big, tremendous pressure on Iraq. Not only because of the coronavirus, but because of the oil prices. Yes. I went to chat, and I do every night I go there and talk to the family and answer some questions to help out everybody. But just to explain to you exactly how that works, the government of Iraq basically they sell the oil, and whatever the prices you see, you have to knock out about $5 out of that. So right now, they're getting about $18 to $19 per barrel. All right. And based on the article, it came out today, and that was like, again, it's the music to my ears and every investor's ears, because this is, they're telling you right there, there's a tremendous pressure on them. And let me explain to you really quick why the pressure. We all know that, they do have a salary that they have to take care of. They have about $3.5 billion a month to pay about 4 million employees, government employees, and all the companies that they have there. They have to pay $3.5 billion. Now, last month, the oil prices were still okay, so they're rushing right now, as you see, for the last 2-3 days. They announced that the Central Bank of Iraq and every bank, they're going to open so they can pay salaries to everybody. Now, they didn't have enough money at that time. Now, what happened 3 days ago, the Central Bank of Iraq, they came up in the press conference, and there was an interview with them and with Rafidin Bank, too, and the Financial Ministry. Basically, the Financial Ministry, they did wire transfer dollars to the CBI, and then the CBI, they wired back the dinars, which is, we know to pay those salaries. But everybody's getting paid right now electronically. We all know there's nobody's going to get cash. If you don't have any kind of key card or Visa card, MasterCard, you cannot get your salary. So we know it's all basically done electronically. The CBI, they did confirm 3 days ago about that the Financial Ministry, they did fund their account. As you know, the Rafidin, Rashid, all of them, like any other banks in Iraq, they do have account of the CBI. So when they want to do something, the CBI, of course, deducts from that. So they did transfer the money, and then the CBI went back, they wired the money back in dinars, and the government, they start paying those salaries basically to everybody. And then the Central Bank of Iraq, Yesterday actually was a beautiful article too, and was very interesting. They're telling everybody that by Tuesday, everybody has to get paid. After Tuesday, if you don't get paid, they don't go get your money through your key card. Then probably you're not being able to get your money or get your salary. But this is very interesting because see, the Central Bank of Iraq, I'm not sure, I might be wrong, but I never recall ever CBI rushing everybody to pay the salaries. This is not their job, actually. It's the financial ministry job to basically tell everybody to go and get money. But for the CBI to come there and they're trying to rush everybody and making everybody hurry up. We're going to pay you all the money. And in my opinion, of course, it's only my opinion, my speculations in this part. I might be wrong, but my opinion that because they bought, in April, looks like this is what they're shooting for, in my opinion, of course. Come April, the Central Bank of Iraq, probably they're going to make their move, and then they want to finalize everything. Remember, if they want to increase the value or look at 3 zeros or delete the zeros, whatever they have in mind, they want to make sure that they paid all their, basically, salaries before they do anything. And that's why, in my opinion, probably they're basically moving very fast to pay those salaries. Because the CBI, I mean, you can go back to the last 12, 13 years since we've been in this investment, Frankie. I never seen the CBI rushing the citizen to go and give them like a due date, too, that you have by Tuesday, you have to go get your money. It never happened before, because remember, this is the financial ministry job. Now, to go back to the article that came up today, now, you got now...
you understand what he
every
said.
day, probably 2-3 times. Go ahead, Frankie, do you have a
No,
question?
no, hold on. You understand what Delta just told you, family. This is unprecedented. This is unusual. This is the CBI that's pushing the GOI. Why? I think it's because the CBI is very, very tight with the Fab Four. And the GOI still has a little bit of the stench of the Iranian influence, but it is a slower process because of the Iranian issue. Go ahead, Delta. I just wanted them to understand that this is coming from the CBI. Go ahead, continue.
Absolutely, Frankie. And today what I'm trying to tell you, family, that Iraq selling the $18, $19. I'm not sure how many of you did read that article, that post that was brought on by Censor, I believe, or Don. They're telling you right there, they're getting right now, starting next month, because remember, the salary that they're paying right now, this is from the money that they made from basically February, right? So they have to pay everybody out, and this is about $3.5 billion. Now, next month, which is going to be a big issue for them, because like that article he's telling you right there, he's giving you another numbers. He's saying that based on $18, $19, Iraq is going to make about $2 billion, and because you have to pay all the expenses, we're going to end up only with $1 billion. Family, this is. I mean, they're going to have only $1 billion, and guess what?
1 week.
The salaries he told. Oh yeah, absolutely. And he told us like they have $3.5 billion. They have to have a minimum. I'm not talking about the other stuff. I'm just talking about salaries, your family. $3.5 billion. They're going to have $1 billion. Now, let's put like let's assume that okay, the CBI, they're going to give them. They're going to give basically the government the money or whatever it is. I mean, for how long is it going to last? I mean, how much the CBI can give? And remember, when the CBI give money to the government, they're not going to give them dollars because the CBI gives the dollar from the government. So now what they need to do, they have to give, how much they have to give in dollars. Now, if they're going to go basically and give at least another like $2.5 billion worth of dollars, that's about close to $3 trillion to $2 trillion a month. And remember, you have funds for about 12 months. It's not going to happen. It's impossible for the CBI to take those money out. Remember, they work so hard to get everything electronically. And they don't want anything to get cash, number one. Number two, if they're going to try to reprint more money or more currencies, it's going to be a problem because, like he's telling you there, first of all, they have to have a backup to do that, which is the CBI. And remember, based on my research and study, which is some of you they follow, every month I do track the Central Bank of Iraq for the last year and a half, and they have the spreadsheet. They're showing you exactly every month how much they're printing. Remember the currency issue expenses. And the last printout was basically on December. and they finalized all the printing in January, and we all know, based on all information, this is the lower denomination that they told everybody a while back that they're going to do. Now, if the CBI, they're going to go back and change the plan and reprint again, even if they do that, family, it's not going to work for so many reasons. Number one, they're not going to do that for free. Even if you help the government, let's say, for 1 month, then what's going to happen the following month? What's going to happen in 2, 3, 4 months? And we all know the loan process is not going to basically go higher. I mean, a minimum probably 6, 7 months. Even if they go higher, they're now the circulation they're talking about. They might basically go between $30 to maybe $40. But again, Iraq is still is not going to be enough to pay those salaries. And then he's telling you in his article that if you go and print the money, the problem is you don't have a backup to reprint again. We don't have enough gold because the money that they have right now, which is the Central Bank of Iraq, has covered only whatever they got printed out. And you have to keep in mind, too, all this article that you see from the government, they have no authorities now, 0% for them to print currency. This is the job description of the Central Bank of Iraq, right? The same thing when the CBI, they're not in the business to print dollars. The financial ministry, they get the dollars by them selling the oil, and they get it from the Federal Reserve in New York, as we all know. But the CBI, they have no other choice. I mean, besides this, what we do believe, in our opinion, the plan that they told us a long time ago to look the 3 zeros, raise the value, because just remember, for you to shut the auctions, and by the way, the video that I did give you some translations yesterday, this was the general manager of Central Bank of Iraq and Basra. And he was talking that the auction is all stopped because there's no money. The global banking is stopped, and this is what he was talking about. Everybody basically is using dollars in Iraq because you cannot import only oil, you cannot basically export, you cannot do anything right now. So basically he's stating that only stop those auctions, right? And we stop those dollars because we have no other choice. But remember what the CBI told us before, that if they stop the auctions, then the exchange rate in the market is going to go really high. It could go up to $2,000 to $3,000, and this is not their goal to do that. So now, for you to stop the auction for 2 weeks or 2.5 weeks, and by the way, let me go back to the sales of oil before I start with the auctions. One more thing you have to keep in mind: when Iraq sells the oil, family, based on this article, he's telling us that Iraq they do not receive the money until 40 days from the sales, and that's the problem. So right now, whatever they're going to sell right now, guess what? They're not going to get the money till end of April. There's going to be a big problem. You cannot print money overnight. All right, if they're going to print money, it has to happen now. Now, if the CBI they're going to lend the government again, it's possible, but it's not going to last them that long. And this situation is not like what happened when the CBI lent the government $20-30 billion on bond and treasury bond, whatever you call them. Now it's very hard because you don't know when the coronavirus is going to end. Number two, you don't know when the oil price is going to go high, so you're risking it here. Even the World Bank, they're not going to give them money. They might give them money, but if you saw today what they're telling them, which is that's a huge issue for all of us, that they agreed to give them some money, but they cannot use it toward the salaries. And this is what they don't want. They need the money to pay salaries, that's all. So what we do believe, in our opinion, as a team, and of course this is all in our opinion, that the Central Bank of Iraq, which is, I told you in chat for some of you, they saw my comments, that if let's say the Central Bank of Iraq raise the value and do, let's say, $1.40 for dollars, for example, now the $3.5 billion is going to become almost $2.5 billion. And then they're going to be able to number one, pay salaries, right? And then, as I told everybody, they do have a lot of dollars, but they don't have a lot of dollars.
He's right.
Number one. Number two is, if the Central Bank of Iraq comes up, let's say, next week, but basically the auction like they used to do before, they cannot last that long because now you're going to start taking out of your reserve. And we know, even Frankie and Walkenstick and everybody, they told you that the U.S. Treasury, almost a month and a half ago, they told them dollars anymore. And Frankie already told the family, now it's coming basically on information in print. And a lot of you, some of you, they ask this question, that if Iraq received their money electronically from the Federal Reserve when they sell, for example, oil, where the Central Bank of Iraq coming from with this cash? Do you remember, family, a lot of you see that, I bring you sometimes pictures One time I did bring you a stack of hundreds of dollars, brand new ones, and there was a rubber band on them, and there was basically stating that those were printed and they were shipment Dallas, Texas. I'm not sure how many of you remember this. So believe it or not, the U.S., when they sell all oil, everything, they send them the money, and then the U.S. Treasury, they send the Central Bank of Iraq cash. They used to send cash in order for them to basically protect the Iraqi dinars and to go to those auctions. Now, a lot of you might ask why the U.S. is going to do that, because remember, it's a very important part you have to keep in mind that the financial file of the nation of Iraq belong to the U.S. The U.S. have the full control of the financial file of Iraq.
Bingo.
So guess what? If the U.S. asks them to stop, like we cannot send you dollars anymore, specifically right now, the U.S., the last country that the U.S. will give dollar anymore is going to be Iraq. I mean, already they passed the stimulus package, $2 trillion, and they're talking about it's going to reach up to $6 trillion. The U.S., they cannot afford to give money for free anymore. But since the U.S. controls the Iraqi financial file, what are they going to do? I mean, you cannot leave the Central Bank of Iraq and the Iraqi dinar hostage. Of course, the U.S. they're not going to do that. So because they own basically that file and they control that, the same way when the U.S. devalued the Iraqi dinar when they went in 2003, they're the one they're going to go back and raise the value again. So how it's going to happen? It's going to happen basically very, very soon, in our opinion, and I do believe that after they pay all the salaries, then the Central Bank of Iraq, they have to move forward and raise the value.
That is
And this is what I got, Frankie.
and that is a very good sequence of events. We would like to establish, that key card, paying them electronically, a little less cashless society. Look, we also need to get more of the new small category notes out. Now, they're talking about printing more of them, correct, Delta?
I'm sorry, Frankie, I lost you there. One more time.
They're talking about printing more currency. Now, we know that they're not going to print more 3 zeros. And we also know a lot came out and very, very painstakingly explained, we're not devaluing, we're increasing the value. So the idea of raising the value and printing more of the new small category notes is the perfect solution. And they're talking about it, correct?
Absolutely, Frankie. But of course, it's not going to be indirectly, like I said on the phone was yesterday. They're not going to come forward and say, "Oh, by the way, we're going to revalue." So a lot of people, like Iraqi citizens, they're thinking that the government they're going to devalue the currency. But again, if you go back and look at the study that Allah did and was in the Central Bank of Iraq about 2-3 weeks ago, he gave 2 examples. He gave the first example, if you devalue the dinar at 10%. The other example, if you divalue the dinar by 30%, what's going to happen? But he based all his study, believe it or not, based on $56 per barrel of oil.
Yeah.
But now it's about $18. So now, believe it or not, in order for them really to cover the budget and cover the salaries, there's only one solution. It might basically help the situation 1%, but it's going to damage 99% is going to damage the other thing. Like they have to come up at least at $2,000 per dollar. Now, is that possible? Yeah, but they're not going to do it. There's going to be a disaster if we come up at $2,000 right now to cover that. Because Allah was talking about $1,300 per dollar. The first example. The second example was $1,500 per dollar. And then what's going to, if they do that, they might, yes, pay some salaries, but it's going to be just a short band-aid. It's not going to help out. Number one. Number two, the inflation is going to go sky high. That means the citizens, they're already poor. I mean, they have demonstration. If they do like $1,500 a dollar, even if you have corona in the whole country, people, they're going to just collapse and arrive. They're going to have more revolutions. It'll be worse than what happened in October. But in that study, he told us, he said that this is not going to work. And he even said that if you use our local currency, we're going to pay no interest for the debt that we have internationally. We're not going to pay more. We're going to pay the same amount in our currency. If you pay in the other currency, like in dollars, then it's going to be a problem. So he's clearly stating, and he's against the devaluation of the currency. Then just think about it. Now, we all know they're saying they're not going to devalue the currency, then they're not going to print. Then what's the other solution? What's the other thing? Then the one that all of us are talking about. And believe it or not, None of them they're talking about the revaluation because they cannot talk about that. They're talking about other stuff that devaluing, printing more money, but it's not going to help. But remember, the Central Bank of Iraq, and this was from a Iraq study, he said, we're not going to devalue the currency, and it's not going to happen. He even said it. Remember, with this article for today, it should make you jump up and down and be happy on investors because Iraq by himself, from the horse's mouth, a few days ago when he said that he's so optimistic that this pressure is going to make the government go ahead with the financial reform that everybody was awaited for a long time. So even Iraq is telling you this is the only solution, family. I mean, I know some of you are looking at those articles, oh, they're going to print money, they're not going to revalue. There's no other solutions. I mean, just give me one other solution that's going to be good. Nothing. Actually, you have to love the 3 zeros and go ahead with the deletion of the zeros project because that's the only way you can stop the auction, and that's the only way that you're going to be able to pay with your currency. And now it's going to be the reverse process. Remember, the government basically pay dollars, and then the CBI pay the dinars. But now it's going to be the other way around. When you have the lower denominations come out, the CBI, they're not going to give it to you for free, so you have to pay for it. So the dollar that they lost from the reserve is going to go back again to their reserve for them to sell the dinars. Yep. So as we know, I mean, there's no way around, family. There's no way for them to devalue because even if they do that, it's not going to help out. It's going to be just a short solution. You need something that prolonged because, again, the oil prices, I'm going to take another 6-7 months. And he's telling you, they have only 1 month. Next month is a disaster for Iraq. They have to come up right now with the ASAP. So that's why to go back to my speech about the salaries and why the Central Bank of Iraq is rushing to pay the salaries because they're about to move very fast. And we do believe as soon as they finish those salaries paid, and I believe they give their due date the last day on Tuesday, then after that it's a game. It's basically, like I say all the time, it's a game over for Iraq and the CBI.
You know, if I was to open up a file right now with you, Delta, it would be, this whole call is in our opinion, okay? Everything we say is strictly in our opinion. I believe, Delta, that the President of the United States, Trump, is pulling back in order to rush in. Now, what I mean by that, and I'd like your comments about this, I believe that Trump is pulling back. It causes our fireflies to say, I don't understand, Mr. Frank, why are you letting these rockets come in from Iran? They're not. They're coming from Iraq, actually, into the Green Base. We know what we're doing. We are pulling back in a military sense, like I just told you. We haven't really struck yet. But another way that you pull back is, bless his heart that just went to heaven, Kenny Rogers. You got to know when to hold them, and you got to know when to, when to fold them. You got to know when to pull them back. Donald Trump, in a business sense, pulled back from Iraq. I'm not going to go into the details, but they promised once, they promised twice. They're not going to destroy it a third time. President Trump has pulled back because the first time, the second time, we made a lot of promises and we were going to take him over to the promised land, but things went wrong, mainly because of Iranian influence. This time around, I believe that Trump is pulling back in many different ways, military-wise and politically-wise, which causes them to do things on their own. In other words, mom and dad are not holding on to the bicycle anymore. In fact, mom and dad took the training wheels off the bicycle. And I don't care how much you wobble going down that street, CBI and GOI. At least you're going down the street together. Donald Trump pulled back military and politically wise in order to rush into Iraq. And I'd like to share with you, Delta, that in my opinion, we are loaded for bear. In my opinion, we are preparing ourselves not only to basically invade Iraq, but to take it over and control it and be the big brother. And if Iran wants to be a part of that, fine. If not, Iran, you're going to get a bloody nose and you're going to bruise your body. And I believe that we pulled back in order to rush in order to do just that. Anybody that wants to mess with Iraq now, we are in the proper position to strike back. What do you think about us, the whole idea that we pull back a little bit? Hey, you want sanctions on you? No, then do what you're doing and keep doing it. And they're doing it. Trump, today, I don't talk to you about keywords anymore, do I, family? But every time I gave you a keyword, within a week, you saw the keyword. May I suggest something that you pay attention to what he's saying to you? A couple days ago, he said it's a beautiful day. You didn't even notice the day that he told you. May I suggest that today he says, we have plenty of money. We have plenty of money. The stimulus package. And the guy in the audience, the media, was asking, well, Mr. President, how are we going to do? No, we have plenty of money. You want more money? We have plenty of money. Go back and listen to the recordings. Delta, what do you think about the idea that Trump pulled back in order to rush back in powerfully?
I mean, it's brilliant. I mean, we all agree that, we got finally one of the best presidents. That he's a businessman, and he's a successful businessman, and that's what's helping the situations out. So whatever he does, it's all calculated. And this guy is brilliant, he's smart, and he does it for the American citizen and for the U.S. and for all of us, which is that's very great, and that's what basically put me on comfort, especially with the investments of Iraq and ours. We all know, for us, like the money that the U.S. is going to print is going to come from somewhere. There's no way you're going to have like $6 trillion. It's impossible. This is a big, huge amount that they're going to have. But whatever you said right there, we pull back. And remember, the Iraqis, they don't know what to do. I mean, the only really entity that they're doing a good job right now is the Central Bank of Iraq. They're doing a good job. Why? Because they're listening to the U.S. Treasury. They're following their step. And Iraq, again, he's listening to them. And they're doing a tremendous job. But other than that, the politicians are idiots. And every time when they come up with a new prime minister, you got those militias, those mafias. They're trying basically to put them down, assassinate whoever basically is going to vote for him. But the U.S., they're not going to tolerate that anymore. So the U.S. basically, they're planning something very good. And you made a good point, Frankie, about this, and I do agree with you that we're going to go back and take control of everything. Because, again, when you reinstate the currency, and we know the U.S. is in charge, I don't want that to fail. Because now, even the U.S., believe it or not, we need this investment as basically as anybody else now, and the U.S. need it now, too. So this is actually very encouraging to all of us for this investment. And if you think that Iraq they're in charge, then you have to go back and do your homework again, because believe me, whatever you see, they're not in charge. They're not. Believe me, if Iraq wanted to revalue their currency, they could have done it a long time ago if they got the power to do so. But they don't want to do that because we know what it is. But now, President Trump, as soon as they finish this, and by the way, he's planning to come, gradually get the business back in the U.S. by Easter time.
Yes.
And he wants to do that. And this is really very amazing. If you listen to him all the time, he's hinting to something that everything should be done by that time, including, in my opinion, the investment of Iraq and the North. They have to move forward and do it. And again,
yes.
If you don't have to agree with us, but just look at this at the pictures right now at Iraq. If you are like in Iraq's shoes right now, what are you going to do? I mean, family, you don't know. I mean, they already have a bad service for people. The price is very high. People hardly get any pay. And remember, there's no country like the U.S. that they pass $2 trillion stimulus check to help their citizens. They don't have the infrastructure that the U.S. have. But for still in the U.S., we're going to have some issue with the money because we need the money. But imagine Iraq. What are you going to do? Nobody's helping you out. You have no money. But Iraq, they have some unique situation. They can solve it. They can fix the whole problem and flip of the switch, which is reinstating their currency. Yeah. Other countries, believe it or not, they don't have this kind of basically what Iraq has right now. Like there's so many countries like Italy, and they have nothing to do. There's no other solution. But Iraq, they have one solution, and this solution that they waited so many years, this is going to be the solution that is going to save the whole country.
Everybody, I said yesterday that in my opinion, people are eager to get back out there and go to that fancy restaurant, to buy that house, to buy that car. It's not like all of a sudden this virus took all of our money out of our bank accounts. We've had an amazing run with our economy, and thanks to President Trump, and so have many nations, by playing fair with their currency. The world wants to go back to the normalcy, but we do have to be respectful, and it's never happened before. We are dealing with a pandemic in a way that we've never dealt with before, and nobody will ever thank President Trump for that. He's the one that basically shut down the whole economic world, the borders. We were the first ones that told everybody before the virus, we're shutting the borders, we're controlling them. Thank God we got President Trump in as our president. Can you imagine if it would have been a different president? Where would coronavirus be right now?
Right?
I mean,
Absolutely right.
we would be infiltrated. In fact, I know people have money, and if you don't have money, okay, you know, God bless you, God will take care of you. But overall, the majority, the average means economically across the face of the United States, we're in very good shape, and it's going to just explode like crazy the moment it comes back. But the problem is, and this is the third time I say it. This is the third time I say it. International markets, will you stop it? You were told to slow down. Stop it. In fact, New York, our Dow, you did another record today. Stop it. We're supposed to slow the economy, slow everything down. Just stay in your home for another 2-3 weeks. Let it peak, let it apex. Before, we never took shelter from it. We let it apex and wipe out thousands of people, and then it would go down, and here we are again. But this time around, our president is approaching this in a completely different way. He approaches everything in a different way. It's almost as if he approached it in a business manner. My friend, the prime minister, this guy, Z, he sure is good. And he's out there. And he's talking to the people every day. And I haven't told the family, Delta, what Z is doing. But what you think about Z as the prime minister and forming the cabinet and getting out there without any problem about Iran? What little is left of it, Z is just knocking the crap out of them. What'd you think about the government forming?
Well, I saw the family, and of course, this is all my personal opinion there. I mean, the government again is really very important, but and this guy basically is he's trying to form his government. It looks like he doesn't care about Iran, and we agree, all of us right now, that the influence of Iran is really going down big time compared to before. He still has some puppet in the parliament. They're trying to pressure him because this guy looks like he's not with Iran. They don't like him. But I want to be honest with you personally. This time, because like I said, is the Central Bank of Iraq, they're going to move forward regardless. Because again, this PM, he might pass, he might not pass, whatever the situation is. I talked about this a while back too. That it's not going to help the situation. Now, I ask one question too. Does the Prime Minister will make the oil prices go higher? The answer is no. Does the Prime Minister is going to save the salaries of employees? The answer is no. Who's going to do that as the Central Bank of Iraq? So the Prime Minister and the government of Iraq, yes, and it's very important for the country. They look way better when you have a government there, and again, when you have a budget or whatever it is. But now, we're in the situation that regardless if you have a PM or not, the CBI, they have to move forward. They need the money. The economic now aspect is very important, and in my opinion, more important than the Prime Minister by itself, because they're trying to give a hard time. See, every time you have Prime Minister, you got those mafias in the Parliament. They're trying their best not to pass them, unless he has to agree behind closed doors to all their demands. That's why I saw the first one did not succeed, because the guy was trying to do it by himself and then agreed to it. Now you got this guy. Now this guy is good. I mean, a lot of people respect him. He's very good, and he doesn't care. He got the guts. He's not coward. He's trying to save the situation there. But I really do believe that he might. I mean, they got 50-50 chance he might succeed or he might not. And it looks like they're buying time until the election comes out, which we don't know what is going to happen. But for us as investors, now we're not looking for that, in my opinion. the Central Bank of Iraq, they have to move forward. And remember, nobody's talking about the PM from the Central Bank. The only thing they're talking about right now on oil prices are money. So
Yeah.
this is what's more important right now for them. The Prime Minister, I mean, this guy, I think he got 50-50 chance, in my opinion, to pass this. But again, people now, they're so worried about the money, economic issue, which is an oil price, and they're worried about coronavirus. They don't even, I mean, they're already now talking about the PM positions, cabinet. I mean, people are sick and tired of that. If that happened, it's good in the long run. But now they need something, a solution, ASAP. And who's the savior for that part? Not the Prime Minister, not the government, not the cabinet, and the Central Bank of Iraq. And of course, with the one that controls the Iraqi file, who's that? Mr. Trump, President Trump. They're the one that they control the whole file of the currency, the economic, everything. They're the one they can flip the switch in the overnight.
I'll tell you, my friend, this president, it just seems like I keep piling on the accolades, but it's because he's not a politician. This man is a businessman. And all that he's done in these last 3 years have all been business oriented. The business oriented deals from this president has brought capitalism, profit. We're extremely powerful financially. And that's why I keep telling you, he keeps saying, we got plenty of money. We got plenty of money. What president have you ever heard say that? Because the Democrats know about the dinars in our reserves. And he knows it. And we only use $2 trillion of what is about to come out. Look, he said 35 billion American dollars worth of dinars at 1-to-1. Do you understand that he's still got pocket change left over? Even if he used $6 trillion? This
And
gentleman.
one more observation too, Frankie, absolutely. I don't want to cut you off, but very important too to notice that, have you noticed and observed, every politician, nobody's basically sweating about the $2 trillion. I never seen Senate, Congress, everybody. I mean, normally you remember the old years, a long time ago, when they wanted to pass, let's say, $800 billion, they used to, like I said, they used to panic and sweat and oh, it's a lot of money, but you don't see nobody sweating about these numbers.
No,
Very interesting.
yeah, that's right. And in fact, we had talked about that. You know, this gentleman, this President Trump, he's a businessman, and that equals a profit. Well, it equals capitalism. Whereas another businessman, excuse me, another president, it would be more political. That would equal war. I've never seen a business president, because he's producing nothing but capitalism, money. All the other presidents have been political, and they produced wars. Let me give you an example. I don't think even people know this. When he turned to General Motors, yeah, obviously it's because of what was going, the data he was getting back about, the coronavirus in Detroit spreading. But still, when he did this with General Motors, I don't even know that if American citizens know this. If it was under the communist way, they would have taken over General Motors, locked, stock, and barrel, closed the door, kicked out Mrs. Ford and those losing Detroit Lions out of Detroit, and they would have taken over the manufacturing, and they would have produced as much as they wanted. In fact, they would have produced way beyond what they needed for exaggeration to show you, oh, look, the state is taking care of you. But what happened in this case, our president enacted the Defense Production Act. And what that means is that the government of the United States is not taking over the General Motors, but we are literally fusing in with them, and they now will produce a product that the United States citizen will own a percentage of that profit. What? Yeah. That's what this act does. It helps them, it helps us. We don't steal from them. They don't, who benefits? The American citizens. It's like us buying a stock in GM is what Trump just did, but the citizens of America don't even know this. This is a good businessman. Every move he makes money. I like what's going down. I like what's going down. And by the way, Dow, slow down. Slow down, okay? Stop it. Anyways, my dear brother, any last words you want to say? Because I've had fun with you and you've done great. I'm proud of you.
Yeah, well, I mean, as a team, I know all of us are. I mean, some people are frustrated and waiting so many long time. But again, I mean, you can do your own due diligence and just look at it. And if you look at the situation, you get a lot of country. They're like way better than Iraq. That they cannot survive. They're going to take them a long time to survive because of the oil prices, economic. So just think about Iraq too. I mean, they have nothing left. I mean, they have to keep moving. Nobody's going to look at you now. But they can't hold up if they do whatever all of us were talking about here. We're going to see, I mean, basically next week to see what's going to happen. I really do believe, in my opinion, that as soon as they pay those salaries, starting on, which is Tuesday will be the last day, then in my opinion, it's a game over, and we're going to keep watching the CBI to see what they need to do. I mean, I'm going to be in the, of course, team chat every night, especially between Saturday night and Wednesday night, because that's the time that they open and they update their system. I'll be late night sometimes to check on that one, and I'd like to thank basically all the hard work from all the news hounds, Samson, Don, of course you, Frankie, Tank, all behind the doors, Ayubi, Claire, M&M's, and everybody behind the scenes, the graveyard shift. Everybody, I really thank all of you guys for the patience, and I love KTFA. What a family! I mean, we're a strong family, and all of us basically we're basically sticking all together, united, and we're going to see what they're going to do, family. But just keep hanging there. I don't think we have that long left for them to do it. Again, remember, they have no other choice. They're just stuck there, and now we're not talking about a couple of billions here. You're talking about, I mean, now they're 90% deficit. They're going to make only like $12 billion a year if the oil prices keep as is, because they're going to make only $1 billion a month, and they need about what? They need $136 billion a year to be basically okay. That's impossible. So that's the only way around it, and we know what it is. God bless you all, and be strong, and love you all, guys.
Hey, Delta, before you leave, I want to read you something. I'm not going to say where it comes from, but, underground sources over there. Listen to this. You ready?
Yeah, go ahead, sir.
Hey, Frank, I just heard here in an Iraqi news paper telling us that the President Donald Trump, he's telling Iraq, we're going to be in Iraq to correct your lawn, Lawn. I think if any of you that speaks, the Chaldean, I think you understand maybe what that word meant. But anyways, the paper is telling the citizens that Donald Trump is telling Iraq, we're going to be in Iraq to correct your lawn. And all the stuff happening in Iraq. And we need to spray the whole thing. The whole thing. Now, this is a translation, so I don't know exactly word for word what it means, okay? But he's saying that Trump is saying we need to spray the whole thing. Now, Iraq, you have 1 month. Hold on. You have 1 month. 1 month straight. I'm sure he means you have 1 month to straighten out your attitude. You see, here, let me just show it real quick. Hold on, Delta. Hold on. If I show it real quick to the family what I'm reading, then they can read on their own. You have 1 month to straighten out your attitude. The power that being said on to Iraq from Iran, it's over. They have 1 month. And states, they're going to be in Iraq forever. They're going to strengthen. You have to understand that this is a translation, family, okay? It's a little difficult to. They're going to strengthen the whole situation in Iraq, the United States of America, Donald Trump. The whole situation in Iraq. You have no choice. Delta, this is the part where you come in, where you said they got no choice. You have no choice except accepting my offer to get ready to get rid of Iran out of the picture in Iraq. We will build your country like it's never been built before, again, like it was before. That is a good news, Mr. Frank, from your Trump. He's going to do the whole thing in Iraq. He's going to do the right thing. I hope you understand my message. God bless you. La 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 la. If you have any questions, call me. Yeah, I'll be calling you later, my friend, but not right now. But yeah, isn't that cool, Delta? Trump sends this. This is all in my opinion. Sends this message to the Iraqi citizens to tell them, you guys, I'll help you. I'll rebuild you. We'll do everything for you. You just got to get rid of Iran, and that's what they're doing.
It doesn't get more crystal clear than this. I mean, and this is another proof that the U.S. control everything. You cannot rebuild the country if you don't reinstate their currency first.
Yep.
So this is what President Trump is doing, and the U.S. is in charge. And don't believe one minute that the Iraq government is in charge in that. No way. President Trump, he's the one that is going to finalize everything, and they're going to go forward and do it. And they're going to take off the country because remember, the U.S. is going to spend about $2 trillion up to $6 trillion. We have to get this money somewhere.
I agree.
Somehow we have to get this money. So this is what you need to do. We're going to go back to Iraq. Take yourself. They need to do only one thing first, which is, you know what it is. They have to reinstate the currency in order for you to start rebuilding the country. And this is just amazing. I mean, this letter that you write to the family, it should give you more confirmation that we are on the right track.
Yeah, because they're letting the citizens of Iraq know we're coming in. We're busting the door down. We're loading up, and we know we got lots of troops. We got a lot of things going on, and they know we're there forever. Hey, listen, do you have to go right now?
No, I don't have to.
Okay, listen, I'm going to go back to Tuesday. I've decided I want to give the family, because I got you. That way I can update you too. Listen to this this progression. Tuesday, last week, Mr. Frank, Iraq, they just announced that they're giving every citizen the emergency money. They also did the same thing, Delta, a stimulus package. They're giving us all 250,000 dinars. They are doing this, Mr. Frank, because there's no time soon. There will be, there will not be any RV. It's an RI, Eddie, to offset this emergency. Money to help. It's not much, but for us poor people, it'll help us. $210 will mean a lot, etc., etc., etc. Then he says, this is for emergency fund given out because there's no RI. I'm going to change it to RI anytime in the near future, maybe within the next 90 days. What? I said to him, okay. Thank you, gentlemen. And I left it at that. Then Wednesday. Now, what would that be? This past Wednesday, a couple days ago. He says, Iraq Television today from Parliament Finance Committee is saying that the formation of the government is being delayed to May. Oh, really? And then they will address the 220-221 budget. They are announcing it just as Eddie's guy at the bank said, Mr. Frank, days ago, remember? And the other thing that the guy at the bank is saying, that they've announced that they are going to delay the including the deletion of the Zero project. It's coming. It's coming. Oh, Eddie says, he told you so. We wait until May now, Mr. Frank. Then I tell him, hey, look, how much is that $250,000 dinars? $210, Mr. Frank. You going to spend it? Well, yes, Mr. Frank. We don't know how long this crisis is going to go on. Why don't you just hold on to those 3 zeros because they'll be worth a lot more pretty soon. Well, that's true, Mr. Frank. Maybe we should do that. Something to think about. Wednesday, 11 in the morning. Mr. Frank, because of the current crisis with oil and the virus, many that would oppose Z are now saying, we like him. He's okay. And, Mr. Frank, you're not going to believe this, but Hezbollah Hezbollah is also backing up Z. They back up to their threats. Oh, pardon me. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. They are not backing up Z. Hezbollah is saying that if you back up Z, we're going to burn down the whole country if you try to help the United States. I tell him, I said, thank you for the report, no problem, as far as waiting until May, but that's your opinion and your friend at the bank. But Mr. Frank, it's on the billboards. Look at this. But Mr. Frank, hold on, let me pull it over. Never mind. But Mr. Frank, it's on the billboards. So if they're not going to do that, then they flat out lying to the citizens. Listen, you guys, you know that the billboards are used by Iran. And I don't think that the good guys are lying. I think that what you're seeing on those billboards are from the Iranian la 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 la. In fact, I have to say, in my opinion, but if you don't mind, just this one time, I don't need to say in my opinion. I know it's coming from those remaining Iranian jerks. Okay, Mr. Frank, but Eddie's asleep right now. Let's see what he says tomorrow. Yesterday, 10:49 in the morning. Mr. Frank, the news is saying on television that Mahdi is saying if the government is not formed this time, then then citizens of Iraq, you need to expect severe sanctions from the United States of America for failure to perform constitutional rights to all citizens. And then what a hypocrite, Mr. Frank. Yeah, well, he's trying to save his butt. That's all. He's saying what America wants him to say now. It's amazing how he changes so quickly. And formed this time when expect severe sanctions from the USA for failure to perform constitutional rights to the citizens. And he went on with other things to tell us, Mr. Frank. But it looks like the United States basically has warned Iraq that if they fail this time, we're going to get hit with sanctions really bad. What do you mean if you fail this time? Fail what? You know darn well what's going on. All of you know what's going on. Don't here, hold on a second. Let me let the family see this. What you talking about, Wiz? Huh? What you talking about? I thought your bank friend says not until April, May, June, July, sometime in, whatever. Huh? Well, Mr. Frank, if we don't get this done, then right away, we're going to get your sanctions. It says here from the United States of America. Who said it? Mahdi? Mahdi? Yeah. You know why? Why? Because Mahdi's scared of those sanctions. I know. Hey, guys, the reason why the warning was so stern from the United States is because we're not going to do it. We're not going to put no sanctions on you. No. And I know that sounds ironic, but it's indirect pressure without actually applying it. Because in my opinion, this third time, it's going to go down. Iran ain't got no influence anymore. Now, what we need to see is what Z's words are to the citizens. Can you collect them for me? Because in my opinion, he will talk to them about the reforms, especially the monetary reform, very soon. He did. He did. No, we haven't talked to you about it yet. Now, as far as Eddie's friend and the new physical calendar, now, Delta, this is where me and Eddie's friend separate. And now, as far as Eddie's friend, he keeps telling me they're going to switch over to the new physical calendar. I still don't agree with him about that because that's not in our books. We do not show that. But as far as waiting for 90 days, also, I don't know. He may be right, he may be wrong. But if you're talking about sanctions, you're talking about printing new currency? No, my dear brother, I know this month, March is over with. But dear God, April becomes even more swollen with more expectation. Allah comes out and tells you all these things. Look at Mahdi, the jerk, comes out and says, if we don't do all those reforms for you guys, we're going to get sanctioned big time. And it's Mahdi, the turncoat, and then, oh, Lordy, hold on a second. And then he says to me, well, I don't know, Mr. Frank. It's all been postponed to May. Really? Yeah. All right. As far as I'm concerned, we're in April. Now, your friend is telling us in May. I thought it was March. What happened to March? So you understand, Eddie. Nobody knows the date. But I'll tell you something. Here, let me finish reading what it says. Yeah, it's all been postponed to May. Anyway, nothing, absolutely nothing will happen until then, he says. Well, he said the same thing about March. Yeah. Anyways, look at here. And here. There you go. And then I respond by saying to him, look, I know what Iraq is saying, but it is what the United States wants. So let's see what happens this coming month in April. But Mr. Frank, the billboards are saying May to the citizens. And about giving and the budget. And they're also putting this on loudspeakers, Mr. Frank. They're putting it on the billboards, not until May. And they're going out in their trucks and they're telling us in loudspeakers, not until May. To which I say, okay, all right, I'll tell you what, copy that. Copy that, Roger. Thank you. Well, we need to know if that's from Iran or from Iraq. Who's actually saying it? And Eddie says, it's not the proxies. It's not Iran. It's for real. Eddie doesn't even look for anything until May at the earliest. See that? You're hearing that, Delta? Did I lose you, Delta? Oh, wait a minute. Oh, shoot, I disconnected Delta. There.
Yeah,
There, I got you back. You hear that, Delta? This guy at the bank, he thought it was March. Now he's saying in May. But now he's even kicking the can down further. It's basically because of what they're telling them on these billboards, on the television. I say to him, all right, copy that. Thank you very much. And I left it at that. Now today, ladies and gentlemen, look, you see the time right there? Now at 2:10 in the morning, he starts to come. And by the way, Delta, anytime you want to say something, just stop me. And I'm almost done reading this, by the way. But at two,
gotcha, buddy.
Oh dear. My phone just threw up. Here it is, 2:10. At 2:10 in the morning, I'm running out of batteries. It's okay. It's okay. It's down here. Mr. Frank, on national television this morning, they're saying that because of the current situation, it will cause the postponement of the vote, for Parliament for the same period. This is exactly part of what Eddie's friend told us a couple of days ago. Remember that, Mr. Frank? And they are slowly letting this news out. Your friend was never talking about a vote. Your friend was talking about the Iraqi dinar, the reinstatement. But okay, the vote. They canceling it? You might as well. Got virus over there, huh? Okay. Eddie told us days ago from his friend that they are slowly letting news out on each of these postponements. On each of these postponements, I only heard one postponement. All right, continue to talk to me. On each of these postponements, just like he was told, next we will hear about the deletion of the 3-0 project postponed and the budget and what? Next, we will probably hear about the project of the deletion of the 3 zeros will also be postponed, and that the budget and cabinet vote will be tentatively scheduled in May. Nothing going down at all until that time in May, and if then at all. You see, ladies and gentlemen, nobody knows the date or the rate. Nobody. As much as this gentleman that is a good friend of Eddie at the bank, he missed March. He missed April. Now he's taking us to May. Here's what I countered with. Are you ready? Copy that. Thank you for the information and for the understanding. But I am very encouraged. I'm the opposite of you guys. You know why I'm encouraged? Because they're telling you that they had to delay because of the virus, right? What did they stop? What project? The project of deleting the 3 zeros from our exchange rate, which means that they're doing it. and which means that once this apex is reached, Mr. President, when is a good day? Mr. Frank, with all due respect, this is not happening until at least May. The entire country is being shut down, don't you understand? And they told us today that the cabinet voting has been postponed, and the budget has been postponed, until May. And the United States of America has pulled out of the embassy. Well, of course, the coronavirus to protect our people. Mr. Frank, I don't know about this. This virus is what's making it all happen opposite. And I think that the rate change would fall under major banking deals. It's really bad in Iran. And we have fears that it will be here in Iraq too, shutting everything down. Now, wait a minute. Let me get this straight. So now you fear that you're going to be shut down. So which is it? Are things shut down in Iraq or not? Things in Iraq, family, are shut down just the way they are everywhere else. Use common sense. Stay at home. In about 3 weeks, let's come back out and what were we doing when we had to stop this? What were they doing, Delta? They were the project of deleting what? Oh, shoot. Oh, I disconnected you again. Hey, let's make this dramatic. And what were they talking about, Delta? That they would return back? But right now they had to, stop this project because of the coronavirus. What project? That was your cue.
Yeah, they're not.
What project was that, Delta?
Deletion of the 3 zeros.
So do you mind? I mean, you don't mind, do you, Delta? I mean, you don't mind staying inside your house for at least 3 weeks to protect yourself so you can live. So because this has never been done before. We always let the virus spread. Thank you, Mr. Trump. You're teaching how to do it properly. Oh, with your advisors, your medical people, right? Yeah, the ones that the Democrats, communists, are so jealous of. Well, yeah. What do you think about that, Delta? They're talking about removing the 3 zeros from the exchange rate, and now they have to wait until the coronavirus is not shutting everything down. But yet he tells me it is really bad in Iran, and we hope that it will not be here in Iraq too. Shutting everything down. Ta-da!
Yeah, I mean, it's just amazing how that works. But I mean, the report that he gave you early morning was before basically the report came up today. The article, they're saying that they have to find a solution at least by next month. I mean, they actually lifting the 3 zeros from the exchange rate. That is the only solution, in my opinion, of course. Because if you read this post again, I mean, this guy, and he's with the government too. He's stating about printing money, but it's not going to work because we have no backup. Then they have to borrow money from international. They cannot do it. Then remember, if they're going to sell oil this month, that means they're not going to give the money till at least end of April.
How are they going to survive?
I mean, it's impossible. It's like $1 billion. So let's assume that this report is really good and they're right and they're not going to do nothing till May or June. I mean, they can't. I mean, something really has to be done, in my opinion, because I mean, there's no way around it. Coronavirus, yes, but you don't see no forex exchange stopping. You don't see even the U.S. bank. I mean, yeah, you might see the lobby kind of go, but the system is everything's working. But what I do believe is, I mean, they cannot afford to postpone longer. They can if they want to, but it's going to put them more in the corner. Now, just think about it. If you're ready and all the infrastructure is ready, you have the low denominations ready, why then are you going to wait till May or April? And then again, even if you wait till May, let's say, and you decide to postpone it for a month or 2 months, I mean, how are you going to guarantee that the coronavirus is going to be gone by then? I mean, nobody knows when the coronavirus is going to be gone. That doesn't mean you're going to sit everybody home and nobody's going to get paid because of the coronavirus, which is you don't know when that's going to end. I believe that based on this article, I mean, there is an urgency right now for them to change the rates because that's the only way it really can save them. Unless if there's someone else that they have another ideas, I'm not sure. But we might be wrong. If you have another basically plan or another kind of solution that you think is going to be better than raising the value, then just let us know. But based on this guide from the government is telling you that, oh, there's so many options, maybe the government's going to find more money, but oh, we have no gold, we have no backup to do that. Second of all, he's talking about, oh, we want to borrow money, but oh, the World Bank told us we'll give you the money, but not for salaries. Oh, what? I mean, he's telling you all, whatever he's telling you, but then at the end, he's telling you it's not going to work.
Hey,
Then, I mean, what's the solution?
Delta, I'm Iraq CBI and GOI. I got no money. Can you lend me some money?
No, you're in the corner. I'm not going to pay you nothing.
Okay, wait a minute. Let me try this again. I got some oil, Delta, and I can sell it to you really cheap. Would you be interested in it? I can sell it to you for $19 a barrel. What do you think?
No, I'm not going to buy it. I'm hardly driving anymore anyway. I don't need oil.
Yeah,
I'm working now.
because you can buy it for $18 elsewhere, huh? Okay. Well, wait a minute. Hey, I need help, Delta. Can you help me turn back on my auctions at the CBI so I can use money that I'm not supposed to?
No way. I'm not going to. You're going to see a dime from me anymore. You better do whatever I told you to do. Well, it's done. No more dollars. Shut down all the companies. The printing currency in Dallas, Texas is all stopped now. I'm not going to ship you any money anymore.
You know, that's true. Hey, well, can I just borrow $1? I promise I'll give you a hamburger next Thursday or something like that, please. Can I borrow $1 American dollar?
If you give me $1,
You know something? At this pace, if I didn't know any better, it sure feels like the same thing that happened in Kuwait. I mean, there was every reason for it not to happen. There was every delay. There was every reason for it not to go up in value. And then all of a sudden, Kuwait's, boom! We woke up and their money went up in value. This is very interesting. Well, my dear friend, I love you. I thank you. Hold on a second. Let me see what someone asked a question. Frank, how can this virus be in Iraq when the doctor says it doesn't like the sun or hot weather? Because I'll answer that one, Delta. I thought it was going to be something about. But wait a minute. The U.S. economy is going to explode with the largest transfer of wealth. Yeah, the transfer of wealth has already occurred. And that's it. That's it. I'm done. I love you, Delta. I thank you for coming with me. Okay.
I got you, buddy. I got your back, buddy. I love you, man. I love Tinny. I love everybody. Love the whole form. And again, family, we're just bringing you whatever we think it is there. And again, like Frank said all the time, we don't know the date and we're on the rate. But if you look at the pictures, I mean, it's showing you right there. Really, I mean, there's no other options. I mean, I'm not sure what else they can do. I mean, you can wait and buy more time, but then again, you're going to have the same issue, the same problem. But $1 billion a month only, and your salaries is like about 3.5. So you're short about $2.5 billion a month.
Yeah.
As a minimum. I'm not sure who's going to give you. I mean, the CBI, they cannot afford to give you every month $2 trillion or $3 trillion at this rate. It's not going to happen. I mean, there's only one way around it, and Allah told you what exactly it is, and he was even optimistic about it. That they're going to go ahead and do the financial reforms, which is, like they said in Arabic, al-Islah al-Mali, which is the financial, or what we call the currency reform. They have no other choice. I mean, I'm not sure. Unless they have to pull the rabbit on their sleeves, it's impossible. No way.
Love you, my friend. I'll talk to you soon. You take care, and thank you for joining us.
Take care, guys.
You bet. Aloha. Bye-bye.
Aloha. Bye-bye.
I told Eddie, our Firefly, to tell his bank friend that, look, I want to thank you. I sincerely want to thank you. Here, look here. I thank you. I fully understand, your point of view, and I will explain, your point on our call. But I want to tell you something, and I want to tell you too, family, as we start to say goodbye to each other now. The good thing is that they are actually talking about the lifting of the 3 zeros being postponed due to the coronavirus, which, in my opinion, means that they were in the process of lifting it. We were that close for a third time. And God willing, it will return. It will return. Or the CBI will return back to it when this corona has apexed. Until then, you guys just hunker down and take care of each other, pray for each other. Pray for me, I pray for you. He says to me, he hopes he says that is true. His bank friend guy says not until at least May. But who knows? We could all be wrong. Let's hope and pray that Eddie will let us know if he sees any changes. To which I said, once again, the key to all of this, self-confession, the key is that we all are talking about the same thing, the lifting of the 3 zeros. Before coronavirus, during coronavirus, and when coronavirus is over with, God willing, I hope we get back on track. But it's only logical, family. It's only logical for the next few weeks that we should just simply stay away from spreading the virus. Now, if you do that, do you realize that the chance of 3 weeks becoming 2 weeks or even 1 week intensify? I'm not putting my hopes in that, but they can. They can. Yeah, I leave you by trying to, and you know something, when you think about it, I told you this. They screwed it up, and I told you the time they did the whole scenario. When a law came out, remember, the next day started the protesting. They screwed it up. When Alawi came out, I told you it was 12 points. It was 13. Why? Because we found out that he was not going to be able to give them the third point number 8, which was we're lifting the 3 zeros from your exchange rate. Twice! And now you got me a third time in the sense of this virus. Because I know the good guys didn't do it. I know Fat Boy didn't do it. I know I didn't do it. So the bad guys did it. And for whatever reason, but guess what? We're winning. We're going to win. We won. I was 12 years old. My father was just ordained by the Church of Christ in Toledo, Ohio, on Collingswood Avenue, the Boulevard Church of Christ, a big church. And Brother Grange, the head minister, laid hands on my father, along with 6 other, a total of 7 of them. 7 ordained pastors laid hand on my father, on his back, his head, and as he kneeled in front of the congregation, and was accepted, as an ordained minister. He went to school for 6 years. The head minister, Brother Grange, he baptized me, now that I think about it, when I was 12 years old. Forgive me. I was 14 years old when I was baptized, now I think about it. So it was 2 years after that. But Brother Grange, he had a daughter. He had 3 daughters. 2 of them were twins, sweethearts. And then the other one, if I was 12, she was about, I think she was 19 or 18, something like that. Real pretty. I mean, what do you expect? I'm 12 years old. I'm going through puberty, I had to look up. One day, out of the blue, she says, we were talking about some movie or something, and she says, "Oh, I like that. You want to go see the movie with me?" I'm like, huh? Oh man. Do I want to go to the movies with you? Do you know how old I am? I haven't reached puberty. Well, no, I did. I'm 12 years old, man. Come on, you want? Yeah, I'd like to go to the movies with you. I'll pay. You drive. She said, okay. I went home. I told my dad. Oh, I was so excited. My dad was like, my boy! That's my boy! He couldn't believe it. He's like, Mary Faye asked you to go to. Yep, this Friday. Yep, she's going to come over here and pick me up. So I'm actually going to take a shower. Oh, wow, man. My dad, we was laughing about it. We was having a good time. And he was telling me, man-to-man stuff. So anyways, I was all excited. I'm sitting there. And I will never forget it. It looked like the coat that Joseph would have wore. It had these lines and all different colors. But I also had a bow tie, a red bow tie. It was a white coat with all these lines and a white bow tie. And man, you could have gotten axle grease out. It didn't matter. I mean, that hair was slick. It was ready. You know, it was combed. It was ready. I must have had enough cologne that all the cockroaches died in my room for the next week. But I'm sitting there, and here comes, she's going to come by at 7, right? Man, I was ready, spit shining, ready to go at 6 o'clock. Nah. And I sat there, and we just laughing, me and Dad. And 7 comes around, and, oh, man, we're getting excited. Yeah, I had all kinds of grandeur illusions. Yeah. She didn't show up. About 7:30, I started getting a little nervous. About 8 o'clock, we decided, can I call her? So Dad picks up the phone. You know, those old rotary dial things. Took forever to just dial it. My dad called her, Mary Faye. Yes. This is Brother Villa. Oh, hi, Brother Villa. Frankie wants to talk to you. Okay. Get on the phone. Hi, Mary Faye. You still going to come and pick me up? Pick you up? At the movies, you said we were going to go movies. Remember, we Frankie, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean it. Well, I mean, I did, but no, I didn't. No, you didn't mean it. You was playing with me, huh? Mm-hmm. Anyways, but she didn't mean to hurt my feelings. She felt bad more than anything else. I was embarrassed. I was embarrassed because I suppose I was hoping for something I didn't deserve yet. And my dad felt bad for me. I know he felt really bad. Because I told him, to just, because he went in my room trying to encourage me. She said I talked to her again. I said, and she said she'll take you out next weekend, but she forgot she was busy and this and it's okay, Dad. And I told Dad, I said, it's okay, go. He said, no. And he wanted to stick around in the room, Go. And I think he finally figured it out. So as soon as he closed the door, that little click, the tears just poured out. Niagara Falls had nothing on me. But I was all set and ready to go, you know what I mean? I worked hard to get to that position, I thought. I asked the girl that was 7 years older than me to go out on a date. And I thought, I was ready to go. Everything. All right. I wasn't going to tell you, but I bought her little flowers. You know, I had little flowers that I wanted to give her. Thought it was the right thing to do. But I was all dressed. I mean, ready. In more ways than one. But with nowhere to go. The Iraqi dinar is so ready. And I got a feeling that sometimes the hearts are broken of those that have worked so hard to get the dinar in the position that it's in now. Hey, you know, it breaks a few hearts. Really? What's that? We're ready. Why are you protesting? I know it's not you guys, but what's that about? Oh, they don't want us to get you to stop the auctions. Well, of course, that's where they steal the money. We're so ready. Many times, huh? Nothing, and then suddenly. And I think that's what's going on. As much as my heart was broken, I wasn't ready. Or she wasn't ready. I was all dressed up with nowhere to go. The Iraqi dinar is all dressed up. It's got a beautiful blue suit, tucks, cufflinks, shiny shoes, all ready to go. But there's no one yet to lift her 3 zeros up. Regardless if she's the most beautiful girl at the prom. Okay, so with that said, you understand a lot more, I hope, tonight, okay? Oh, there's the gentleman. Yeah, hey, brother, I'm sorry I didn't get back with you. I'm just so busy. But I told you I would use that material, and I thank you. And I believe you. Why do you think I read it? I know you speak Arabic. I know everything about you. That's why I used it. Thank you. Here, this gentleman. You see what he's saying? This is a sincere man. He knows his language. He knows what's going down. He had to send it to me, and I shared it with you, family, because the Iraqi dinar is all dressed up and ready to go into the international market and have a wonderful time. Go out to dinner. Go see a movie. Go do the things that make you happy. But unfortunately, right now, as pretty as she is, she ain't got nowhere to go. So let's just pray and be strong, because I don't know when. Seems to me we need to get more data, and we need to see the apex. We need to come down. We need to feel more comfortable about doing this. But I'll tell you another thing. Remember I told you about the window? So that window is still wide open in these next weeks. The combination of the things that we need are still there. And the fact that the only one that's supposedly saying that it's delayed is my friend's bank employee. Which I respect. You get the feeling I want to tell you something else, but I can't, so I'll say goodbye, okay? Huh?
We gotta give away something.
Oh, you want to give away some stuff? Okay. Oh, man, I just made it. It was really perfect drama, really melodramatic to stop it right there. You know, I want to tell him something, but now we got to tell him what?
We want to give away to a premium member one set of the 21 notes.
You gave away a set yesterday.
No, but we have a lot from...
Just give it to me.
No.
No.
So they have to be logged into Premium Room
But
right now. so I'm
Tink,
picking
but Tink,
from here.
listen to me.
Okay.
Listen to me. But Linda, listen to me. Listen to me, right?
My name's not Linda.
Oh. Am I in trouble? Okay, but so I'm gonna shut up now. So what do you want to do?
I'm gonna give away a set. I
One of
have
these?
them over here.
We'll bring it over here, Ben. My wife wants to give away a set of the Boulevard like we have been doing. This is something that my broker wanted us to do. So I said, okay, I'll do it. And we're giving these sets away. I don't know any Linda. I've never met a Linda. I don't know.
But Frankie, we're done with that topic.
We're done with that topic, okay? You go, girl. You told. Alrighty, so what we got here? These are Boulevard 2019? No, 2018 and 2000. No,
No.
2017, 2018. Because we're not giving away the 2019 yet. Yeah. So there's 21 notes here, and we want to give this away as a gift to premium members. Bless your hearts, and thank you kindly for allowing me to come out. Can you imagine all that I wanted to say typed out? So that's why I came out, and I thank you for allowing it. Okay, here it is. Now, Tink, you have premium. I don't, correct?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
So it's in your hands.
So I'm going from the top of the list down, and first there's Claire, then there's me, then there's 222 Dude, which he already has it. The next one is 4 Cash. The number 4 CASH.
That's it? That's the winner?
Yep.
Well, let's take care of that. You took the drama and excitement out of it. I want to do a little drum roll.
Okay.
Okay, what's the winner?
The number 4 and
The-
then Cash.
The number 4 itself, and then CASH. Congratulations. This here envelope with this here currency, Boulevard currency, is yours. Well, it depends. How many cookies you got? Let's swap. Alrighty, is that it, Tink?
Yep. That's
We done?
Yep.
We done. Alrighty. God bless you all. Take care of each other, okay? And the beauty of it all is that they admit that they were going to do it. They admit they're going to do it, and they admit they're going to go back to it once this coronavirus is under control. Isn't that cool? That is cool. Y'all take care of each other, okay? God bless you. Be safe. And yeah, there's something I want to tell you.
Tomorrow.
Huh?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Tomorrow's Q&A.
Oh, tomorrow's Q&A. I'll see you then, okay? God bless you. Aloha. Ahui ho until tomorrow. Bye-bye.